you know what, let's take a chance at it. And he's actually one of my favorite business partners. I shouldn't say that. They all are. And then the other ones, I know them personally. I don't want to say too much because I don't like doxing it. But yeah, I know them personally. And then the other ones, it actually started off as like consulting, and then they brought me on as a partner. Supercar model behind you goes hard. Thank you, Kala. Appreciate you. What would you go with first launch? Bamboo bedsheet versus toddler removable dining seat? I'd have to see the product numbers, but definitely not bed sheets, brother. Did your cousin from yesterday end up starting? He never texted me. He's technically my cousin's cousin, so he's not like directly related to me. I don't know how that works. If he is my cousin, he's like my fifth cousin or something like that. But no, he never texted me. My little cousin, which is the one who I actually posted the video about. Today about my cousin showing his results. He was the one who I told him to get my number from, and he texted me yesterday while I was on live and said, "Hey, can I give Zach your number?" I was like, he's like, "I just wanted to make sure, didn't want to just go hand it out." I was like, "Yeah, I told him to ask you for my number, but he never messaged me." So let's go. Let me rephrase. If ad budget is low, what would be the rank of priority? Broad auto phrase. Well, you're missing exact, Philip. And again, even rephrasing it like that, there's no priority. You should be running broad, phrase, exact, auto. Is it mandatory to get reviews before you launch ads? Yes. Why not product targeting? Product targeting too. The only because he said low ad budget. Albie, I need to respond to you. I got you after the live, brother. But he said low ad budget. So like if I was prioritizing it, broad, auto, phrase, exact for sure. I always like in the PPC Masterclass, I always talk about like potentially one product targeting campaign. And when I say potentially, like I'll always run one, but that doesn't mean that everybody has the budget to do that. Does that make sense? How to get reviews. Amazon Vine program is going to be the #1 way to get reviews. Thanks, Sea Urchin. I saw that comment. No point in even acknowledging those people or these people. We don't got time today. How long did it take you to learn your flow and tips and tricks? I mean, I learn things every year, bro. You always have to adapt. There's a saying, if you're not growing, you're deceasing. Can't say the word on here, but I learn things every single year. So it's a constant evolution of you as an entrepreneur. I would say it took me like a year or two to consider myself, I wouldn't even say expert, but like probably like a year to consider myself proficient at Amazon. And then I've become an expert over the last, 6 years after that. It's not a course, it's a mentorship, Neplian. Very different things. Let's go. Drop your questions down below. Also, I posted some gem videos on the TikTok today. See, I'm trying so hard not to make these offers because it's pointless. Everybody who's in the lives and knows what the offer that I'm gonna make is, do I say it or do they just get hit with the mute? Which one? I need to know. Do I give them the famous offer or do we just focus on on the live? I'm curious because I really do want to make the offer. Hit them with the mute, not worth your time. Brother, this is not your daddy Cameron's live. God bless you, though. All right. FBA said hit him with the mute. We won't even acknowledge it. I wanted to make the offer, but how long and where do you do market research? I do market research on Amazon, and it's not about how long. It's about when do you find a good product to sell that meets the numbers and meets the criteria. Haley says, give them the offer. Let's do a vote. Next comment that's nonsense. Do we hit them with the offer or do we just hit them with the mute? It's pointless to make the offer. Nobody's taken me up on the offer. So I feel like it's just like the people who actually want to learn how to sell on Amazon, it just gets old to them. You know what I mean? I skipped the question. What do? I sell products on Amazon. Luke, what's the difference between LTL and SPD? One is essentially pallets, one is boxes for shipping. Highest product review, 1,000, not good. It depends on what the average is. If the average is over 1,000, not good. If there's only one product that has 1,000 reviews, but the average is still low, that's not bad. Do you find people like to buy a lot of silly things? I think that we live in a very consumer world, so I don't think people. I think people will buy anything and not anything and everything, but I do see very silly things being bought. That's not what I'm basing the products that I launch on. I'm basing it on market demand, essentially. Would a $20 ad budget be spread on exact, broad, and phrase and auto be enough? No, I would say minimum 10 a day. How do you hit people hard with what they want? By adding value, bro. Think of it from the consumer perspective. Think of every product that you've bought yourself. It probably added a value or a need to what you needed. Like if you needed a water bottle, you're buying a water bottle. If you needed electrical tape, then you're buying electrical tape. If you needed extra batteries for your camera, you would get batteries. If you needed screen cleaner, you would buy screen cleaner. If you needed extra SD cards, you'd buy SD cards, right? So it's not about how do you hit people with what they want. Everybody's going to have a need. 10 a day each for each campaign. Yes, Philip. Locke, thank you for the follow. Appreciate you. Is using Data Dive research tool easy to use compared to Helium 10? Yeah, it's pretty much the exact same thing. Maybe we even do some live product research today. Let's get the live to like 5K likes, 20 shares, and we'll do live product research. But we got to get that in the next 20 minutes so that we have time to actually do product research. And I'll show you guys how to do it with Data Dive as well. How long did it take for you to make your first 100K doing this? A year, less than a year. 100K, wait, 100K profit or 100K revenue? I mean, the answer is still more or less the same, but I hit 100K revenue, obviously way before I hit 100K profit, but I had really good profit margins from the jump. So it was still within like 12 months of launching, but I had a very unique launch, everyone. Like a lot of people will not get those results on their very first product. So I don't want to like set false expectations. I had a great product. It was almost like I make jokes about the stars aligning, but it was God's plan. Like the stars aligned with my very first launch and it really helped out. I had a good product, good differentiator, right timing, great review strategy, running external traffic from off of Amazon. How much research did you do in the field before you started running ads marketing? Well, I didn't even know you had to run ads. Well, first off, you don't run ads till you launch a product. So like I was doing all the back end work to get the product launched. I was selling like 5 to 6, 7. I don't want to say that. 5, 6 units. Stinking number. 5 to 6 units a day organically. And I remember going to my cousin. She said, "Did you say?" Anyways, and I told my cousin, like, "Oh, the product's doing great." She's like, "Congratulations, that's so amazing." She's like, "How are your ads going?" I was like, "Ads? What are you talking about?" She's like, "Yeah, you have to run Amazon ads." I was like, what? I didn't even know, because I wasn't the type of person like you see on social media nowadays who's like needs to have step 1 through 100 figured out before they even start. I started on step 1, figured that out, then went to step 2, and so on and so forth. So I was focusing on launching my product, creating my listing, differentiating the listing before I ever even worried about ads. You keeping up with all these wars? Honestly, bro, and this is the ignorance in me. Not really. Not to say that things don't matter, and it's obviously very unfortunate, all the terrible things that go on in the world, but I kind of live in a bubble, which I'm spoiled, and again, it's also ignorance as well. I live in a bubble where I wouldn't say that I don't like worry about those things, but there's only like so much that one person in California can do, and so like I try not to consume things like that, if I'm being honest. Because I'm the type of person who can go down rabbit holes, and I just try to, like, I don't watch scary movies, not because I'm scared of them, just because like I just don't like seeing things that work me up. Like I was out of commission, RIP Charlie. I was out of commission for like 2 days when I saw the news with Charlie. So said, what you consume, man. I try to just keep it all positive, man. I listen to podcasts most of the time when I'm doing my work. I'll have a podcast, an Audible, or like some music on. I don't even like listening to rap music anymore unless it's like old school rap, because I don't want all this sad, depressing, and oh, I'm sad and I took this and I took that. And it's like, it's not for me, man. What's a good number you'd say reaches the best ROI? I mean, 100% ROI is what you should aim for. Did you use Shopify or any third-party thing? Not when I started Amazon, but I do sell on Shopify nowadays. Yeah. Amazon, pillar platform. And then number 2, Shopify. Number 3, TikTok Shop. Number 4, Walmart Online. Those are the pillar platforms for me. I also didn't even talk about this yet. Last few videos that I posted on TikTok, last one, not including pinned videos. The emotional side of selling on Amazon, a student result talking about my little cousin who actually started selling on Amazon, and then is being successful selling on Amazon still possible? That's why things work out for you. You only invite good energy into your life. God's plan. God's plan. I try. I mean, I'm only as good as God made me, and yeah, there's you can't concern yourself with like every little thing in the world. We live in such a consumer culture, especially here, especially with social media, and especially here in the US, that like you can get wrapped up in like so much stuff that's just like, I'm not saying it doesn't matter, because again, like tragedies in the world, all of these things, they matter. But like, what does it do for me dedicating my whole being and energy to these things? Like, does it, because if you think about it, when you lock in and you can become successful, you're able to actually do good in the world, right? I don't share the stuff that I do on social media because it's not for social media. It's not for views. It's not for clicks. It's not for people to respect me. I do it because it's what I do. But like being able to take care of your community, your family, your people, If you're a giving, generous person, then like you can actually contribute to some of these tragedies in the world if you can work on yourself first. But if you're sitting, and I'm exaggerating here, I'm not trying to sound mean, but if you're sitting in your mom's basement and playing video games and just consuming all of this negativity, and you're like, why is the world like this? Well, why don't you go be great and help change the world? That's funny. Bro, be honest with me. Is it really easier than it looks to make this much money? No, bro, it's not easy. I've never said that it was easy. No. Is it easy? So I used to be all juiced up, and I was I'm a little smaller now, but I used to be 190 pounds, 7% body fat, like 110, 120 pounds of muscle mass. A lot of people would love to be that big. Was it easy? Absolutely not. Right? Anything that is at this level, the highest level, your highest level of athlete, your highest level of entrepreneur, your highest level of investor. I want to make this much money. I want to do this much good. Like, no, it is not easy. Is it possible? Yes. Is it easy? No. Is it easy to get a six-pack? Maybe if you have some sick genetics, but for your average person, no. What up, Greg? I told you, man, every month. I already updated it recently. But I got you on day 30, brother. On day 30, I got you. You already know, Greg. But what's good, my guy? Let's do this really quickly. Cool, bro. Nice. Good morning and good afternoon, brother. Was good, Faith. Good morning, good afternoon. Happy Friday to everybody. You know what's weird is like Friday's actually one of my busier days of the week. Everybody like waits for Friday because they can like check out for the week. That's always been a weird concept to me, even though like when I was younger, I used to be like that. You want to wait till Friday when you're getting out of school and you get to kind of just chill for the weekend. But like, imagine taking 2 days off or 2.5 days off every single week. You lose 100 days of the year, more than 100 days of the year. And then people wonder, why am I in the position that I am? Work harder. Can I have the product research sauce? Yeah, we could do some live product research right now. Let's run up the likes a bit more, and then we'll do live product research. Let's get it to 5K likes, and we will do live product research. We got to get it in time for me to actually have time to do the live product research, but I'm 100% down. It's been a minute since we've done live product research, and those are always fun lives. So luckily I live in Europe. You can add 60 vacation days to the 100. Yeah, I will say that Europeans, Australians, they travel the world for sure. In the US, the majority of the US doesn't even have a passport, which I think is pretty interesting. But hey, man, if you're traveling the world, you're enjoying life. I think that's a W. I think if you're going out to the pub or something like that with your boys every weekend, and then you wonder why you're in the position that you're in, like the goal is freedom ultimately. Like I made a video about that on my travel channel. And it's like, it's not about chasing the money. I spend it all on vacation. Like I said, bro, people that I know from Europe, people that I know from Australia, that's how they do it. And I actually respect that 10 times more. For real. What's your model of selling? I do private label. What's the best place you've been to, bro? Honestly, man, a little bit of a basic answer, but it really is my favorite country. I only just started traveling 3 or 4 years ago, mind you. I've been to over 20 countries. Favorite country that I have been to this day is Thailand. I really enjoyed it. Asia to me, number one continent. Not necessarily like to live in. I think USA, number one. That's my biased opinion. But I really do love Thailand. It was sick. Have you tried Bali, bro? Yeah, I've been to Bali. Bali would probably be my number two. I know Bali's not a country, but so we'll call it Indonesia. Indonesia is probably my number two. Thailand is my number one. Weirdly and surprisingly, New Zealand is probably my number three. I did not think that I would like New Zealand that much, but I fell in love with it. Like if I was ever going to leave the US, Thailand was always a really big option. But then it's like having a family and stuff like that. I'm not a big fan of Bangkok, so it's like I wouldn't move my family to I wouldn't move my family to Thailand. But same thing. I love Bali. I actually spent like almost a month just in Bali because I was actually thinking like, it's like the digital nomad place in the world, and I was thinking about going and living there for a little bit just because put me on an island. I don't like cities. Put me on an island. Put me next to the beach, which thank God I live next to the beach here in Cali. But yeah, this doesn't have the infrastructure. New Zealand, I kind of got that vibe. It has the infrastructure to have a fam, as well as I went to Lombok, bro. We actually, let me get to some questions and then I'll share that with you. It was Bali, Gili T, Nusa Penida, Gili Air, Lombok, and Jakarta. Oh, Jakarta's a country, also there, but that was so-so for me. Thailand is beautiful, 100%. Private label and white label are the same, yes. Have you been to Japan? Yes. We stopped in Japan on our way back from Asia. I know it's still technically Asia, but I'm just saying like on the way back to Cali. Oh man, don't say that about my Gili Tea. I love that Gili Tea was my spot, bro. I loved Gili Tea. Definitely not like one of my favorite places, but I had a great time there. What's up, Luke? How do you feel about someone buying an FBA store? I don't think it's the move, Rose. I've seen videos about it recently. It's kind of weird when it's like it's kind of weird when there's like little trends on social media within the e-commerce community, and I've been seeing the trend of like buying businesses and stuff. I don't think it's the move, especially for a beginner. Someone called my business off Google today. First client I didn't know before. Let's go, show. Congratulations, brother. What up, Kev? Big Kev. Okay, so while we wait for more questions to go to Craig's thing, so we were actually in Gili Tea, and we met some locals there. Super cool. This is the kind of traveler that I am. We had a hotel right on the beach in Gili Tea, and these dudes are like, bro, Gili Tea has one of the best sunrises in the world, even though they've never left Lombok and Gili Tea, but I believed them. And they were super chill, and they were like, you guys got to just spend the night on the beach. So we did chill. So we ditched the hotel on the beach. We went and slept on the beach. Not much sleeping, but we were on the beach for sunrise on Gili Tea. And then one of the locals who was there, he was like, yeah, my family's in Lombok, all of this stuff. They were so cool, man. I still follow bro on IG, and he'll message me all the time. I haven't been there for 2 years. And yeah, so we took a boat down to Lombok, and he invited us over to his family's house. They made us a nice little traditional Indonesian food. Same, have a Gili Tea buddy too. Man, they're cool people out there, man. I got my phone stolen in Bali though. That at a Marshmallow concert. That wasn't the business. What types of products fall in health and household? Supplements, topicals, supplement related products. Can we do private label and wholesale on the same account? Yes. Just started private label with a 10K budget. You think I could hit 40K in revenue? You could, but there's no guarantees. That's not the way to look at business. Trust me. I know genuinely people do not like when I answer it this way, but it's the truth. Like when I really do wish I can just, I've said this before, but take a flash drive, of my exact mindset with business and just distribute the flash drive for free so that everybody can have the same mindset. When I was starting to sell on Amazon, I wasn't thinking, I had goals. Don't get me wrong. There's a difference between having goals and having conditions on yourself or your journey. I was never thinking, I need to make this much. Do you think I can make this much? You know what I mean? It was, I want to sell on Amazon, period, end of sentence, nothing else after that. I wanted to sell on Amazon, so I did the things that I needed to do to sell on Amazon, and then the success came once I did those things. I'm not saying that everybody's going to be successful. I'm not going to say you're instantly going to be successful, but the point was I stuck to the fundamentals, and that's what made me successful. KJ, thank you for the follow. You do private label all the Alibaba way. A lot of our products come from Alibaba or overseas, but some products come from the States. Who's your supplier from Alibaba? I mean, I have different suppliers. It's not one supplier that just creates every single product. Every manufacturer produces different types of products. You have manufacturers who produce water bottles, manufacturers who produce notebooks, manufacturers who produce cameras. Like it's not just one supplier. You search for a supplier based on the product that you want to sell. I lost my Amazon Choice badge because I sold out. Can I get it back? Yes, you can. Good problem to have, by the way. Over 40% margins on that account said. Who was your mentor? My cousins. My cousins. They don't do social media or anything like that, but I was working for them back in the day, back in 2018. They taught me how to sell on Amazon, launched on Amazon 2019. By 2020, I had quit my job with them and was doing Amazon full time. Since 2019, so 2 months shy of 7 years, which is every year where it's like a new year. This is going to sound silly probably, but like I remember I used to say, oh, I've been selling on Amazon for 5 years. And it was like, it would get closer to 6. And I was like, wow, it's going to be a trip that I've been selling on Amazon for 6 years. And then now I'm at 6. And then it's like, oh, it's going to be a trip that I've been selling on Amazon for 7 years. Do I get like a 10-year anniversary or something? Amazon should send me a plaque. Get a little 10-year reunion. Everybody who started in 2019 in 3 years show up and they host a party for us. Let's go. Y'all, we have like 3 minutes to get to 4K likes if we're gonna do product research, by the way. Do you have any good mindset book recommendations? I'm glad you asked. How much do you spend on ads? On this account, it's like a 7 to 9% tacos. So depending on the month, or what our goals are for the business. So take the number, multiply that by 0.07. But I'm glad you asked. Let's just take all 3 of these books, actually. Okay. What's TACO? Stands for total advertising cost of sale. It's your ad spend divided by your total sales. Okay. First ever fiction book that I ever read. The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield, not to be confused with The Art of War. First fiction book I ever read. I remember reading this back in high school. My boys would be like, yo, we're going out. Let's go. We're going to pick you up. I'm like, nah, I can't. They're like, why? I'm like, I'm reading. They're like, you're reading? That's whack. What are you talking about? And it's a super easy read, you guys. Like, big words. You could literally finish this book in like 2 hours. If you're a fast reader, maybe less. So I can explain all of these books too if you guys want, but this is probably my second favorite book. My first favorite, although this guy gets a bad rap online, he has my approval just because of this book, The 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. This book indirectly helped me make more money than any book that I've ever read in my life. The reason behind that is because I read this just as I was starting my Amazon business. And what it did to my mindset, it it was almost like there was a disconnected wire in my head. And after reading this, I was just firing on all cylinders, and I understood what it took to be successful. Third favorite book. This one isn't so much mindset, and this is a really long book, very long. But depending on how you think of the world, this can unlock a lot of things in your mind. And it's the Steve Jobs biography by Walter Isaacson. Fun fact about this one is I actually listened to the audiobook, and I only bought the book to put it on my shelf, if I'm being honest. This book was really cool. Steve Jobs, in my opinion, is probably the greatest entrepreneur that ever walked on this planet. And you just learn so much. I took a lot from this book, and I've applied it to my own business journey. What's harder, 0 to 1K a month or 1 to 10K? 1 to 10K. I don't know. Everybody's different. Like for me, I raced to 10K my very first month when I was selling. But like I've seen some people struggle to get to that first initial mark. And then I've seen some people get to like the 0 to 3K mark. And then they have to make further optimizations to get to the 10K mark. So everybody's journey is going to be different. If we were just looking at it analytically, then yeah, it's obviously harder to get from 1 to 10K because that's $9,000 more than it is from 0 to 1K. You're lucky you have good relatives. I'm blessed that I have good relatives, but lucky, why am I lucky? You know what I'm saying? Like me having my cousins was great because I don't think that I would have been able to be successful selling on Amazon. God's plan. There was less information about Amazon then than there is now. Like there was not people like me going on live answering every single person's question. There was not people like me who were pumping out all this content about Amazon, very analytical content. Like you had videos on like how to create a listing, how to create a barcode, but you didn't have the full-on strategies from people who were actually doing the thing on Amazon. So it's like, yes, I was very blessed to have my cousins. Nobody's denying that, but you guys live in the era of information. I mean, so I guess I started my business during the era of information too. But literally, you go on TikTok or YT and you just be like, what is a good Amazon ad strategy? That didn't exist. I had to go pay $1,500 for an Amazon conference because there was garbage information on ads out there. And I knew about this person who ran an ad agency and she was really successful. And I was like, okay, I want to go learn from her, but she doesn't have really YouTube videos. Like I saw her on a few interviews from other Amazon sellers, but I was like, she knows her stuff. Okay, well, since she doesn't have videos, I'm going to go pay $1,500 to go to this conference so that I can hear her speak. And I'm very happy that I did that because that $1,500 was very much so worth it. Some people on the internet nowadays would say, you got scammed, you paid for information. That $1,500 ticket helped me make more money than a lot of things. Because I remember we went to the conference. Obviously, there's a lot of speakers, a lot of keynotes and stuff like that. But I went there for her. And she finishes her talk. She's like, okay, I'm going to be on the side and asking people or answering people's questions. And there's a whole group around her. And I remember it was like 20, I was 20 at the time, 20-year-old Luke. He's like, all right, I hate talking to people. I don't like this kind of stuff. But I went, let her answer the question that she was at. And then I was just selfish with her time, essentially, because there's a whole group waiting to ask questions. And I just kept asking her questions. And other people were getting value from it because I saw them like filling out their little notebooks and stuff like that. And then by the time I was done with my last question, they're like, okay, we got to get you over here for this other event, blah, blah, blah. That helped me make money. I went back to my hotel room because that conference was in Vegas. I went back to my hotel room, open up my laptop, start implementing the strategies that she told me that day. But again, paying for information is a scam. So I got scammed, even though it helped me make a bunch of money and fix my ad campaigns. The logic of the internet nowadays. I saw that dude who's going at like people who sell courses. He's like, a course is a scam. But then I saw a clip of him being like, you should go to college, bro. You should go to college. And I don't disagree with college for everybody, but it's like, oh, interesting. You're telling people to pay for information to learn from somebody who's never been in the industry that they're teaching in, but then learning from somebody who's in an industry you say is a scam. That's wild. Okay. Makes sense, Unc. What's your business? I sell products on Amazon. What's the best category on Amazon to be profitable? Every category on Amazon can be profitable. It depends what your cost of goods shipping is. Snipe. That was funny. You're funny, bro. Can you get a lot of units of mediocre item and still make money selling them? Yeah, but you shouldn't sell mediocre products. College is also paying for information. Ding, 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 ding. Tell that to that guy. Paying for information on the internet is a scam, but sitting in a classroom to learn from somebody who's never been in that industry, that is not a scam. My cousin spent $120,000 to go to CVU throughout his 4 years. Bro worked for me for 2 weeks because I kind of wanted to like give back. My cousins hired me, and then so I wanted to go hire my little cousin. Bro said he learned more about business in 2 weeks working for me than he did at that point. He was only in college for 2 years. Learned more in 2 weeks working for me than 2 years of going to a $30,000 a month or a $30,000 a year school. But my 3K program, that's a scam. Somebody in the game. I told him one day, I said, ask your professor if he's ever started a business, because he was getting his business and marketing degree. He comes back to work the next day. I'm like, so what's your professor said? He's like, no, he's never started a business, but he teaches kids. How many students are in that classroom? 100 students, $30,000 a year. What is that? 3 M's, $3 million in tuition in one room, and they're learning from somebody who's never started a business. Sick. Awesome. Makes so much sense. That guy's not a scam, but I'm a scam. Makes sense. Yo, Luke, if you launch a new product, why can't you spend very aggressive on ads? You want to get proof of concept first, bro. You don't know how your ads are going to convert. That is why. Which are your best categories? Health and household, home and kitchen, office products, baby products, toys and games. The big 5. Just because those are my best categories doesn't mean that's everybody's best categories. There's people who perform really well in pet supplies. There's people who perform really well in tools, home, and improvement. I do private label, said. I'm the business owner, not a reseller of the business. I respect anybody who does wholesale. I respect anybody who does arbitrage. Not a real business. You're a reseller. No, let's say you got proof of concept and raised the budget very aggressive. Imagine like 100x. What can go wrong? If you have the proof of concept on your conversion, that's the whole point of getting proof of concept. And then you increase your budgets. Are your products heavy? What's usually the weight? Nah, bro, I don't sell products that are more than 10 pounds. Yeah, I don't sell any products. What's the minimum ad budget, monthly or daily? How would you spread the budget? 10, 10, 10, 10. Broad, auto, phrase, exact. Did you start with wholesale? Nope. I started with private label. I wanted to be the brand owner. Like I said, not a glorified reseller of somebody else's brand. If I wanted to resell somebody else's brand, I would have been a Nike sales rep. You know what I'm saying? I actually think you'd make more. What's the commission as a Nike sales rep? Let's actually look that up. What's the commission as a Nike sales rep? Oh, I got to stop using that example. They don't give commission. They give bonuses and base salaries. Okay, we got to stop using that example. Hey, my guy Airstick, what's good? What's good? I'm late. Yes, you are, son. But good thing that this isn't school and we don't you don't get in trouble if you're late. Also, make sure everybody checks out the YT page. This Monday, we have a YT video coming out interviewing one of my students. Bro is 20 years old. What's funny is I thought bro was an adult. Like the way that he talks, the way that he moves, because his profile picture wasn't actually him. So when we did this interview, it was actually the first time I saw what he looks like. Bro's 20 years old. Let's take a guess in the comments. How much has this 20-year-old made in the last 12 months selling on Amazon? Let's take a guess. Would it be best to trademark your brand before launching your first product? I think so, yes. Wait, so if you make 4 M's, how come you're sitting on TikTok? Just wondering, sorry. See, this is where I answer the questions, because this is like just genuine curiosity. Number 1, this is only 1 out of 5 Amazon seller accounts, my good sir. 2, I work 4 to 6 hours a week on my Amazon businesses. How many hours are in a week? Terrible at math. Let's see. 24 times 7, 168 hours. I work, let's call it 6. I work 6 hours a week on my Amazon businesses. Four M's? No, he didn't make 4 M's. 300K, 200K. 1.8 mil. FBA got it right on the money. In the last 12 months, he's made a little over 200K in top line revenue at a 30% profit margin. What's your biggest ad spent amount per month on a product? On one single product, probably like 10 grand a month. Maybe a little more. I wish I got started at 20. Man, that was probably one of the biggest blessings, is that I started at 19. Like, I never think it's too late. Like, you're a great example of this, brother. It's never too late, and you found great success on Amazon. But yeah, I'm very blessed, because by the time I'm 39, I'll be 20 years into the game. Like, that's gonna be sick. I don't want to. 39. I like being young, but I guess getting old is also a blessing. Life is good. Why are so many Amazon sellers making it seem like private label is so hard to do on Amazon? Because they do arbitrage and wholesale, and they want you to do those business models. Bro, how much are you making a year across all accounts? This year, it'll either close out at like just at 8 figures or just below 8 figures, just on Amazon. Thank you, of course. Motion. How do I start as a beginner with no experience or knowledge, please? Here's the beauty of it, brother. I started on Amazon with no experience or knowledge. My boy Airstick started on Amazon with no experience or knowledge. He had some past job experience, but it was like no knowledge of Amazon directly. FBA, he sells on Amazon. He had no past experience or knowledge. You just learn, brother. It's like riding a bike. I didn't know how to ride a bike until I started riding a bike, or learning how to ride a bike. I know that sounds simple, but that's just the reality of it. So one, you are spending 10K. Why can't you get the stock, raise it to 100K like right now? Something gotta go wrong. No, it's just more so like you're only going to spend so much on Amazon. Like, there are products where you can spend a lot, but like, even if I increase my like the budgets on that product are on one single campaign, or no, on one single campaign, we have like $2,000 a day budgets. We just don't spend that. The volume's not there. So like, the way you're looking at it isn't necessarily the way that it works. Goes on search volume, it goes on demand, and all of these things. That's a very high demand product as well, but still. Did your products fail? How many? Not my first product, no. I've had failed products before. I've probably had 10-ish. around 10 failed products in the lifetime of me selling on Amazon. Well, actually, genuine failed products, like straight up failed, probably like 6. I hate this number, 6 or 7, but the internet makes me cringe sometimes. But I've discontinued a few products aside from that. Dude gets a lineup every day. Yeah, bro. I haven't posted the video. I always say this because I have so many videos in my drafts, but I don't know if this is a flex or makes me like a D-bag, but yeah, I spend anywhere from like 3 to 5K on haircuts every year. How much is needed to get started? 3K USD. Oh, I get it. Maybe there is not that high search volume and the budget will not get spent. Yeah, exactly. How much is a mentorship? It's 3K, but it is going up at the end of the year. Do a live with Cam. Just watch the one with Ecom. If you watch the one with Ecom, Zima, what's the point of me doing a live? It's going to go the same way. Like if you watch the whole thing, how many times did bro repeat himself? He's like, why don't you share your products? You should be proud of them. And he's like, he explains it. And then he's like, I just don't get it. Why don't you share your products? It's like, bro, I just explained it to you. Why would I share my products? So it's like, I actually would really think it would be a great live, but it's just going to be pointless because bro is 60 as F and doesn't understand the game of Amazon. Smart business guy. I respect him as an entrepreneur. I don't respect him as a new age internet money kind of person. And also, I would go way harder in the paint than my boy Ecom did. I just got to keep it real. How many have you launched? I currently sell 50 plus products, including variations. What is your 5-year goal? To keep growing, bro. I want to own, like in terms of my portion, I want to own $20 million worth of real estate within the next 5 years. I know it's a big jump, but I want to own that. Sell probably this brand and one other. Go start another Amazon business after that. Get absolutely yacked. I want to get back to where I used to be. But those were the juicing days. Jim is absolutely destroying me. That's good, brother. Body-mind connection. That is good, and you're going to get more used to it. It becomes a healthy addiction at some point, man. It really does. Sheep. Hey, let's go. You're going just so calm and collected. Yeah, bro. I would not have. But here's the thing, bro. I don't think that he did a bad job on that live, but I think that he should have defended himself more. That's just me. I can't speak for anybody. I can't. Everybody's gonna live their life different. I think bro should have defended himself more because not that he really even cares, but it just gave that other guy like fuel. Like there were so many arguments to say in that. And yeah, so I would have handled it. If I ever got on a live with that dude, I would give him the offer that I give everybody who's like, those are fake numbers. I would give him the offer, but I would do a $250,000 bet. I'd give $50,000 of it away to all of you. Thank you for responding on the one you spend the most a month, what do you think you still have room to increase? Yeah, bro, that's on this account right here. We grow every month. We've been driving a lot of external traffic. Search volume and search demand goes up on Amazon. Continue to increase more placements. Oh yeah, I totally agree with you. I feel like Elon didn't want to waste any more of his time, bro. It was an hour and a half live. At the first start of it, should have been more. Just, I don't know, more. I get that he can't be bothered with it, but like, yeah, I don't know. Definitely should have went harder in the paint. That's my perspective. That's what I would have done. But shout out to him for doing the live, because now I don't need to, because I already know it'd be a waste.